Hey, I don't know if you've heard the news, but a recent report came out and said that Social Security was scheduled to diminish in the 2030s. We know that in the United States, 25% of Americans have no retirement savings. In Canada, it's about 30%. And there are so many people, 50 plus, heading to retirement going, oh my gosh, what should I do? Now, unemployment, right? There are lots of jobs out there, and some of the jobs aren't that attractive. And you might be in the place in your career where you're going, should I start a business? Is this too late for me to start a business? Well, the good news is it is not too late for you to start a business. And being an entrepreneur is such a noble pursuit. My name is Susan Sly. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mom of 5. I'm a tech investor. And this is raw and real entrepreneurship. This is where I give you the no nonsense, no holding back advice on how to grow, start, scale a business, the tips, the strategies, the mindset, and the skills. So let's get into it. I want to give you 5 tips today to starting a business if you're over 50. All right. So you might be saying, well, Susan, how old are you? Well, the answer, my friends, is I am 49. Thank you very much. And so I am not quite 50, but I have helped many people start businesses over 50. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to start a business. And you might be thinking like, oh my gosh, I've never owned a business. Is this something I can really do? The answer is yes, you can. You can start a business over 50. And I'm going to give you some tips today so you don't have to take a lot of risk, because especially as we're getting to this point in our lives where we might be taking a look at, do I have enough money saved for retirement? Do I want to stay at this job longer? Or maybe you still have kids at home or kids in college and you're thinking, yes, I'd love to start a business. I'd love that second stream of income, but I don't know if I can take the risk. So the good news is that it is not only possible for you to start a business, but it's probable that you can have success if you follow the right steps. So there was a study done. You might be saying, well, I'm too old for this. There was a study done on successful Silicon Valley startups, and the average age for Silicon Valley startup success was 47 years old. And at Radius AI, the company that I gratefully co-founded, several of our co-founders are actually in their late 40s and early 50s. And how fun is that? So we have all of this wisdom, we've had our careers, we understand how to navigate some uncertain waters, and we're having a lot of fun as a team. So there are many different types of businesses someone over 50 can start. And you might start as a consultant, or you might start an online business, say maybe doing some online sales. You might resell something online. You might also start, some kind of service-based business. So maybe in your career, you were an accountant and you're starting an accounting business. Or there's one of my clients who was a music teacher, and during COVID, she's in her 50s. I coached her how to start her online music teaching business. Another client, Marcia, an engineer in her career, and she is almost 60, and she's like, I want to be doing something. I said, what are you passionate about? She goes, I love math. I'm like, girl, I didn't think you were going to say that, but okay. So she started Math with Marcia. A shout out to Bruce Corkill. Bruce is in his 60s. Bruce has his Sonoma wine tour business. So not only can you have a vibrant business, it's going to invigorate you. It's going to excite you. It's going to fire you up. And my friend, if you're in your 50s, if you're in your 60s, even if you're in your 70s, you got years, you got decades, you got all sorts of time to make this thing happen. And I cannot think of anything worse in a career than retiring at 50 and being bored out of my mind. And in fact, the average man in America who retires usually expires within 5 to 7 years of doing that, because you get bored of golfing and boating. You think it's going to be so fabulous, and then you are bored. We all need to have a purpose, my friend, and starting a business is a great way to find your purpose, find your passion, and also to create some extra income. So firstly, number one tip, what are you passionate about? And it's okay if you think your passion is weird. There are people who make businesses out of weird passions all the time. Do you remember when slime was a big thing? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So on YouTube, there was a waitress who made a business teaching people how to make slime, and she actually made a very significant amount of money doing it. There is a woman, and I don't even know how old she is. She does toy reviews, and you actually never see her face. Who knows how old she is, and she's making a lot of money. So there are ways to start a business with your passion, even if you think that passion is weird. There are people selling things on Etsy, and the more sort of, I guess, off, trend something is, that is something that for the right person is very desirable. There are people doing cooking classes on YouTube. There are all sorts of things you can do that is an expression of your passion. The second tip that I have for you is ask your friends to give you some feedback. So say to them, listen, I want you to be raw and real with me. I was watching Socialize channel. She said, ask you this question: what am I good at? And then you need to step back and not be all like, oh, I'm not that good at that. Let your friends tell you. And they might say, you're a really good listener. You're a really good people person. You're good at solving problems. Oh my gosh, you're the best baker. You're so organized. You could start a business from any of those things. And you might think, well, do I need to go back to school? Maybe if you want to. I mean, currently I'm studying at MIT. I went back to school. You might or you might not. It depends. So let's say you're really good at helping people solve problems. So could you start a business if you're not, say, a licensed therapist? Well, my advice to you is, before you start giving advice to people, is think about creative ways that maybe that would work. So maybe you start a YouTube channel where people can ask you questions and you could give advice to them about how to solve that problem. If you're a great baker, not only can you maybe bake and sell those baked goods, but again, you could do cooking classes on YouTube, or you could do paid cooking classes, or you could teach cooking at your local community college. There are all sorts of ways to monetize, but get that feedback from your friends. The third thing is, you want to socialize the idea. And this is where social media can be very helpful. So being able to say to at least 20 people, no less, hey, if I started a business doing whatever, doing taxes part-time, or if I started a business teaching piano on the weekends, or if I started a business, consulting, do you think that you would know someone who'd be interested in my service? And so the reason you want to ask 20 people is, some people are like, I don't know, but it's that 1 out of 20 who says, yeah, I actually do know someone who's interested in that kind of service. And then what you want to do is go and interview people who might be interested in the service. So that's tip number 4, interview people who might be interested in your product or service. And that's going to give you some valuable feedback and help you to shape that product or service offering. And then the 5th tip I have is start small and bootstrap it. So I'm not a big believer in going into debt to start a business. I think that's very risky. I'm not, I'm risk averse, and you don't need to go do a multi-million-dollar funding raise. Although if you have that background and you're excited to do that, then that could be good too. You can check out some of my other videos here on YouTube on how to do that. But if you have never had a business before, start small and figure out, what is my product? What is my service? What is my offering? How much am I going to charge for it? Start to get those 1 or 2 or 3 people. If you're good at organizing, maybe you become a professional organizer. Start to get that feedback and that development. And when you do, that's when your business is born, and you don't have to take a lot of risk. You're working with your passion. You've got the feedback. You're starting small. You're bootstrapping it. So you're not taking taking out loans, and then you will sleep much better at night because you'll be able to focus on building your business, developing something that is, your passion, it's your encore career, and something that can help a lot of people. So with that, I'm Susan Sly. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, comment below. Shouts out to you if you're over 50 starting a business. And I just want you to know, I really appreciate you being here on Raw and Real Entrepreneurship, because from my heart to yours, my passion is really helping people like you succeed, to start a business, to grow a business, to scale a business, get their head on straight, and know all of the skills, all of the techniques to be able to do that. So with that, God bless, go rock your day, and I'll see you in a future video.